Hi, I'm Elena of Financial Demics, where I give you the tips and tools to manage your money, increase your savings and your income, and decrease your debt. And today we're talking about whether or not you are a saver or a spender. Have you ever really thought about which money personality that you have? I can tell y'all off gate that I am a spender. And if you're new here, you probably didn't know that about me, but I have said it in previous videos that I am a natural spender and that I work very hard to manage my money and maintain it, and that's how I gained my knowledge of personal finance. But some people seem to think that being a saver or a spender is genetic, but I'm not even sure about that, and that's not really what we're going to talk about. But I do find it interesting that two people can come from the same household and one be a spender and the other a saver. I mean, I've seen it in my own family, even all the way down to my own brother. As I mentioned, I'm a spender. My brother is a complete saver, and we have the same upbringing. But funny enough, my dad's a spender also. Sorry, Dad. It's true. And my mother's a saver. So who knows? But it's just interesting how that works out. But if you're not sure exactly which one you are, then I'm going to give you some tips to help you figure out whether or not you are a saver or a spender. So you may be a saver if you only buy what you actually need and will sometimes go without just so you don't have to take money out of your accounts. You also may not enjoy shopping and only do it as needed. And when you do shop, you try to purchase quality items because you don't want to keep replacing items, which results in you spending more money and having to shop because you hate that. You also may be a saver if you started saving early. So I don't know about you, but if you know about those little kids who, like, when they get money from family members and for birthdays and holidays and things like that, like, they don't spend their money, like they put it in a piggy bank and leave it there. Yeah, that wasn't me. Because a spender would definitely maybe put it there for a little while, but they got a reason later why they want to spend that money. Or as the old term, your money's burning a hole in your pocket. But for a saver, like, they don't want to spend their money. They just want to leave it as a little kid in their piggy bank. You also may be a saver if you save money even though you didn't have a high income. So there's a lot of people out there who think that you can't save if you don't make a lot of money, but we do know that's not true. And for natural savers, they actually are saving money without thought because that is who they naturally are. So they're never spending money. For the natural saver, it gives them gratification to know that they have money in the bank, and they already naturally do this, so it's a habit that they have to save money regardless of the amount of income they make. You also may be a saver if you live below your means. So, side note, I'm not saying that spenders live above their means, but savers definitely live below their means because they are saving money, right? They are not living paycheck to paycheck, at least not through any doing of their own. Savers are not going to have all of their income walking out the door to go to their bills. It's just not a comfortable feeling for them. And so they are always going to make sure that they have a nice cushion. And the reason why they have that cushion is because they're savers, right? That's something that they want to do. I actually talked to a saver that I know, and they're actually saving 40% of their income every single month. It's not because they aim to save 40% of their income. It was because they wanted to just keep their expenses low, because savers don't like to pay bills either. They just aim to save the rest. So that's why they're saving so much money, because they're living below their means. Savers also avoid using credit cards unless they have to. A lot of the savers that I know, they only use their credit card if they have a really large expense, and typically they do it if they get 0% interest. So I noticed that if it's not 0% interest attached to it, they're not too quickly to do it because they want to keep that money in their savings. And I realize some people may not agree with this, but however you choose to handle is how you choose to handle it. But they keep that credit card debt low as possible. They pay that credit card off fast because, again, that money is going to keep them from being able to save. Okay, this one is not for all savers, but I know a few savers who this does apply to. So you may be a saver if you actually hoard money and you may not be generous. And what I mean by hoard money is that they're only going to give if asked to give. They're not necessarily going to just give out of the kindness of their heart because they hear you're going through a tough time. And probably because they are savers, and so it's not a natural inclination. So it's not saying they're not good people, it's just not natural for them to give money because they're trying to save their own money. Now that we talked about the savers, do you think you're a saver, or are you still trying to figure out if you're a spender? If you're a saver, let me know in the comments below. And now we're going to talk about the spenders. So you may be a spender if you make a decent amount of money, but you don't know where it's going. I'm going to say this about spenders before I even get into this. Please understand, you could be a spender and still have money saved. You can be a spender and not spend all of your money, but what is the natural inclination that comes to your mind? Okay, so keep that in mind. Don't get offended if you're a spender. If you're a spender, you're a spender. I'm a spender. Spenders unite, but we be smart about it. Save money too. Spenders can have a good salary and know they make good money. When you do your taxes, you're like, I made how much money? But where did that money go? You know what I'm saying? That's because you are spending. You're not necessarily keeping intact with where you're actually spending. Even if you are paying all your bills, that does not mean that you're keeping track of your disposable income. And you also may have a habit of running out of money before payday hits. Also, maybe a spender if you don't have a budget. Now, again, some spenders have budgets, me, but I had to learn the hard way. You may not have a budget. Like, most people who like to kind of be free in how they spend their money and things like that, they don't necessarily have a budget. It's not because you don't care, right? It's because you don't necessarily like to be restricted. And so a lot of budgets have negative connotations to it. The way we use it has a negative connotation. And so a lot of spenders don't want that restriction put on them. But having a budget and being a spender actually gives you a sense of freedom of what you can actually spend. So you might also be a spender if you shop on a regular basis. So get paid, we have to shop. And when I say this, don't just go to like clothing and shoes. Spenders will spend on anything. Vacuum cleaners, pots, pans, sheets, snacks. Like, it's just so many little things that go with it. So don't assume that it's just like, oh, I'm going to the mall. If you're a spender, you may just pick up random things in a store or going to the store for no reason whatsoever, and you don't even think about it because it's just a habit of yours. You may be a spender if you like to live in the moment. And this comes into the fact of when you're buying things. Like, it gives you a natural high. You're not thinking about whether or not you need the item or not. You're just buying it because you are there, it's there, you have the money, and so you pick it up. It's really instant gratification that you don't even think about. Like, oh, I'm gonna pick this up. Oh, I need this. Do you really need it? Really? Do you really? Most of the time the answer is no, but you see it, you grab it, you buy it. You also may be a spender if you use your credit cards on a regular basis. So if you're using your credit cards to purchase things in everyday life, even though you do have a paycheck coming in and things like that, then you may just be a spender. And I'm not talking about the people who are using their credit cards for points. So don't come in the comments talking about that. I'm talking about those who they get paid, they pay their bills, they buy what they want there, and then they also buy what they want using their credit cards. You also may be a spender if you are a gift giver. When you shop, you love to pick up gifts for others. So if you see something that somebody mentioned that they need, or even if you just know is something that they like, then you go ahead and you pick it up, not thinking about whether or not it's, you know, in your budget or spending plan, or maybe that person doesn't want that item at the time, especially if it's like a snack and the person's on a diet. Then you're like, oh, I'm gonna just pick it up anyway, because that is just who you are. Like, you tend to like to buy gifts for others and give it to them. So are you a saver or a spender? And is one better than the other? Of course not. We need a good mix of both of these people in the world for various reasons, which I won't go too deep in here. But truly, regardless of which one you are, what's really important is that you find the way to be who you are naturally, but still know how to manage your money effectively and keep a balance so that you actually enjoy your life. Because really being extreme in one or the other is not going to be the life that you want to live. I hope you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to see your comments below telling me which one you are. And so if you enjoyed this, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button so it gets out to more people. And if you are looking for a way to manage your finances better, then go ahead and watch this next video right here. And I'll see you next week with an all new video.